Julian Ashford's empire was a constellation of luxury, vintage vineyards sprawling across Napa's golden hills, boardrooms in Monaco where fortunes flowed like aged Bordeaux. At 35, he was the enigmatic heir to Ashford estates, his chiseled features and storm-gray eyes gracing Forbes covers, yet his heart was a vault sealed against the world. Widowed at 28, he'd lost Amelia to a fleeting illness, their unborn child a ghost that haunted his solitary suppers. Family gatherings were his exile. The Ashfords, with their silver spoons and sharper tongues, gathered annually at the ancestral chateau in Provence, dissecting his bachelor folly like a flawed vintage. Serafina Hale entered his orbit as his sommelier-in-chief, a luminous force at 29, with porcelain skin kissed by freckles and hair like burnished copper that caught the light like autumn embers. Hired for her palate sharper than any critic's, she'd become his quiet confidant over late-night tastings, her laughter a rare effervescence in his muted days. "You're more than wine, Julian," she'd tease, swirling a glass of his rarest reserve. "You're a story unfinished." It was a crisp October eve, rain pattering against the chateau's leaded windows like impatient fingers, when desperation cracked his facade. The family jet had whisked them from California, but as they descended the grand staircase, marble cool underfoot, Julian's hand caught Serafina's wrist, pulling her into the shadowed alcove of the library. Gas lamps flickered, casting his face in chiaroscuro, vulnerability etching lines around his eyes. "Serafina, I need a favor." A madness, perhaps. His voice was gravel wrapped in silk, the plea of a man unaccustomed to begging. "Pretend you're my wife. Just for the weekend." Before them, he nodded toward the drawing room, where laughter and clinking crystal masked the undercurrent of judgment. Her emerald eyes widened, a flush blooming like rosé on her cheeks. "Julian, why? You could charm anyone." "No." He raked a hand through raven waves, the gesture raw. "It's not charm they want. It's proof that I'm not broken. But I can't. I won't parade a stranger. It's you. Only you make this farce feel possible." She searched his gaze, seeing the chasms beneath the poise, the loneliness that mirrored her own, orphaned young and armored in independence. With a nod that trembled like a leaf in breeze, she whispered, "For you." Yes. The masquerade unfolded like a waltz on thorns. At dinner, beneath crystal chandeliers that wept light, Serafina wove tales of their courtship, stolen weekends in Tuscan groves, vows exchanged under starlit vines. Aunt Vivian, with her pearls and piercing stare, arched a brow. Cousin Edmund smirked into his cognac. Julian's arm around her waist was a lifeline, his thumb tracing circles on her silk gown, grounding them both. Toasts rang out, to Julian and his radiant bride, and she smiled, the velvet lie tasting of truth. But cracks spider-webbed by the second night. A storm raged outside, thunder rumbling like ancestral disapproval, as the family gathered in the conservatory. Ivy-cloaked walls framed portraits of stern Ashford's past, their eyes judgmental sentinels. Serafina excused herself to the solarium, seeking air amid the orchids, perfume, when Julian followed, his silhouette etched against lightning's flash. "You were brilliant," he murmured, but his voice fractured. "They bought it, every word. Then why do you look like you're drowning?" She stepped closer, the scent of rain and his cologne, sandalwood and regret, mingling. He sank onto a wrought iron bench, head in hands. "Because it's not a lie, Serafina. Not anymore. I asked you here on a whim, but, Mother." His breath hitched, the word a wound reopened. "Before she died last spring, Amelia's accident shattered me, but Mother's cancer," she lingered, frail as vellum. Her last wish, whispered in that hospice room smelling of wilted lilies, "Find joy again, Julian. Let love in, before it's too late. Promise me a family, laughter in these halls." I nodded, lied through tears. "But every gathering since, they prod, when will you settle? For Mother's sake, it's torture. Pretending with you, it cracked the dam. I want it real. You, real, but I can't ask." Tears spilled then, hot and unbidden, tracing paths down his cheeks, a millionaire undone, not by markets but memory. Serafina's heart clenched, a vice of empathy. She'd guarded her own scars, a father lost to war, a mother to despair, leaving her to chase dreams alone. Yet here, in this glass-domed sanctuary, Julian's confession stripped her bare. "Your mother, she saw your light, Julian. The one you hide behind empires." Her voice quavered, tears mirroring his. I pretended for the role, but I'd choose it, for you. Because in your eyes, I see home. He rose, cupping her face, thumbs brushing away her sorrow. Serafina. The door creaked. Aunt Vivian hovered, her expression softening from suspicion to something akin to grace. Children, the storm's past. Join us. But her eyes lingered, perceptive as aged port. They did, hands entwined, the pretense dissolving into authenticity. Over midnight brandy, Julian confessed. Not the full charade, but the seed. Serafina's brought life back to these stones. Mother's wish, it's unfolding. Vivian's hand squeezed his, tears glinting. She'd be proud, dear boy. As we are. Dawn painted the chateau in honeyed light as they strolled the gravel paths, mist rising like spirits released. Marry me, Julian said, not a plea, but a vow, the heirloom sapphire from Amelia's ring, repurposed with a twist of Serafina's copper strand, gleaming in his palm. Not for them, for us, for the laughter she'll never hear, but we'd honor. Serafina's yes was a sob of release, their kiss sealing promises amid blooming lavender. Months later, Ashford Estates bloomed anew, a foundation in Mother's name, funding grief retreats where stories healed like fine wine aged in time. At the first gala, under Provence stars, Julian raised a glass, Serafina radiant at his side, this time, truly his. To veils lifted, and hearts unveiled. In quiet nights, as rain pattered once more, they'd whisper of Amelia and the mother lost, their love a bridge over chasms. Serafina, tracing his jaw, would murmur, you didn't just save the lie. You saved us. And in his arms, the world felt vast, yet intimately theirs, a story, at last, complete. Thank you for watching this story till the end. Sparkles. If it touched your heart, please support us. Thumbs up, give it a like. Speech balloon, share your thoughts in the comments. Bell, subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications. Your support helps us create more stories that inspire and make you believe in miracles. Your participation means a lot to us.